I'm also Lorenzo Trujillo's great-great-great-granddaughter. I would like to tell you a story about how a whole community was saved by a bell. Let's start in Abiquiu, New Mexico in 1842, when a group of 10 families agreed to move to this valley in Mexico's Alta California. An agreement was made between the families and Juan Bandini, the owner of a large land grant, whereas the families would be deeded plots of land along the beautiful Santa Ana River in exchange for protecting his grazing livestock from thieves and bandits. The settlers built their homes along the south side of the Santa Ana River, and because Lorenzo Trujillo had been elected the leader of the community, the settlement was named La Placita de los Trujillos. Now, La Placita means either a small town square or a small plaza. As their families grew and more people moved west, homes were built on both sides of the river, establishing the twin communities of La Placita de los Trujillos and Agua Mansa. Agua Mansa means gentle water. Now let's move ahead 20 years to 1862. The population had grown to 600 residents. The area was beautiful, fruitful, and the villagers welcomed visitors with open arms. Along with their homes, they had built a church and had a church bell to call the faithful to services. Because the church had no bell tower, it was just a simple building. The bell stood outside on a wooden stand. On the night of January 22nd, rain had been falling in the San Bernardino Mountains, melting the snow, and the creeks began to swell, and it all started to flow downhill. After the creeks joined up with the Santa Ana River, a huge wall of water was rushing towards the sleeping communities. The parish priest, Father Borgata, heard the roar, rushed outside, saw the river rising, and frantically rang the church bell. Can you imagine being sound asleep in the middle of the night and hearing the church bell ringing? We knew something had to have been happening. So everyone ran out of their homes and saw the river rising, and they all ran to higher ground. Some even had to swim for their lives. Although no lives were lost, the flood washed away everything they owned. Their homes, their possessions, their livestock, and their crops. From both sides of the river, both communities, everything just washed away into the mud. So only the church and a general store survived because they were built on higher ground. Amazingly, none of the residents moved away. They were determined to rebuild, but maybe a little further away from the river and a little higher ground. In 1863, Antonino Trujillo, one of Lorenzo's 4 grandsons, built the current Trujillo adobe near the corner of Orange Street and Center Street in the north side of Riverside. But what happened to that bell that saved all of our families? Well, by 1866, our beloved bell was badly cracked and unusable. We needed a new bell. So again, the community gathered together and donated any metal they could spare. Some even donated their jewelry. And along with the old bell, they were all melted together, and a new bell was cast in the very sand of the Santa Ana River. And the newer bell now resides in Las Campañas restaurant at the Mission Inn Hotel in downtown Riverside. This bell contains the metal from our original bell. Now the bell is inscribed with initials and numbers, and the initials are SSDA 1866 NS de Guadalupe, which stands for San Salvador de Agua Mansa 1866 Our Lady of Guadalupe. This bell is highly respected by all the descendants of the survivors. And it is a miracle that we're all here today. What does Las Campanas mean? Well, of course it means the bells. Thank you for joining me today, and come to visit the bell the next time you're in downtown Riverside. I have a few books that I brought along today. One is called The Bad Bell of San Salvador, and it was written by a local school teacher, Patricia Beatty. And it's a children's book, and it's a little fictionalized, but it's a good story for the kids. And also, a lot of history can be found in this book, Defending Eden by Joyce Vickery. So, these books are available at your local library, and I would encourage you to read them. You can find more information at our Facebook page, Spanish Town Heritage Foundation, or on our website, SpanishTownHF, all lowercase.org. Thank you.